everybody? Tim from Ski Rex Media once again this week. And if you are a regular listener or you regularly watch the program, or if you're a watchiner, you do both, you've noticed two things about this episode already. First is that I went right into the music and title sequence for the video, or just the theme music for the audio-only listeners. I went right into that. Usually I do the intro before that, then go into it, then start the program. I think from now on, we're going to go right into the music, then just start the program, get rid of the intro. What do you say? Now, speaking of that intro, that would be the second thing you probably noticed, that the music was different. The theme music was different. Where was that heavy metal theme, man? Where was that? It's still rock and roll, but it was different. Why? I'll tell you why. Very recently, I came across the debut album of a band that is ski themed. Ski themed, not just snow sports themed, ski themed, but down with the snowboarding too, of course. That's what we do here. We don't do the snowboard skier animosity nonsense. Everybody's my brother, everybody's my sister. And the thing about this band, obviously ski themed, it harkens back to a bygone era. An era of the past. Our talking 80s into 90s, the days of the radical. At the beginning of the free ride and free ski and the freestyle stuff, all that stuff that we see today. This was kind of like those guys who pioneered. It was from that era. Guys who you know who are some still around. Glenn Plake, Schmidt, rest in peace McConkey. You know, these guys, this was their kind of vibe. This music kind of speaks to that vibe. And this music is from the band The Electric Ski Poles. And we're going to talk... Right now, we're going to talk to one of the founding members and one of the members of the band. We are talking to Jeff Erickson of the Electric Ski Poles. So here we go, Mr. Jeff Erickson from the Electric Ski Poles, that rock and roll music, that ski rock and roll music. How you doing, Jeff?
Great, Tim. Thanks for having me.
No worries, no worries. You guys are out in Utah, right?
Yes, yeah. Greatest snow on earth, so they say.
So they say. I've heard that. Where well, before we get into where you're skiing and how the winter looks, let's talk about the band. Tell us all about it. Tell us all about it, the whole story.
Okay, interesting story. Growing up in Utah, we skied all the time, and we were your typical teenagers going to high school. Actually, it was in junior high where we had a great group of guys that were skiing like whenever we could. And we loved two things. We loved skiing and we loved rock and roll. And so we'd get on the lift and, you know, there's not a lot to do while you're riding up the lift. And so we'd use our ski poles as electric, air guitars.
That's awesome.
We'd start making up songs on the chairlift.
That's incredible.
And eventually we, a couple of us learned how to play the guitar, and we found a good drummer, and we put a little band together in high school, and we played a couple places, and then ended up just recording some of these ski songs that we developed, and we recorded them on a cassette tape. So this was back in the day, no digital, music and all that. So I've had this cassette tape recording of the Electric Ski Poles from back in the late 80s, just sitting around, for the last many years.
Okay.
And my kids wanted to hear some of the songs and share it with some of their friends. So I had to figure out, how do I digitize this? And I found somebody to digitize the music and figured out how to put it up on iTunes and all that. And we just released it last week. So it's as raw as you can be, but hopefully it gives our friends that, our Generation Z, a little taste of what it was like to live in the 80s.
Now, so this is all from the 80s, so it's completely legit. It's not throwback, it's legitimate.
This is legitimate 1980s recording from cassette to iTunes.
Now that's awesome. Now, I checked it out on your website before the debut. And
yes.
I just the sound of it, those first couple of second clips, just a little bit, I was like, wow, this feel like it felt legit. Like it felt like some of the punk groups that were coming, that were hitting the US scene in the early to mid 80s, you know what I mean? And I was like, this is
Yep.
awesome.
Yeah. I mean, I think some of the influences we had were probably like the Ramones.
Mm-hmm.
We loved the simple stuff because that's all we could play.
Sure.
And, keep it as simple as possible, but with some catchy, riffs in there and bass line.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And, that's what we had to work with.
Nice.
We're a three-man band. So a three-man band trying to crank out some ski tunes.
Hey, man. 3-man in the punk world and the rock world, that's common, man. That's wicked common. Now, the photo from the album art, is that you, or is that something you all put together?
No, that is us. Are you talking about the black and white one or the
the one with the skis
one
up
the
in
album?
the air, up on the top of the mountain?
Okay, now which one is that?
I don't know. It's on your website, actually, on the Electric Ski Poles website. It's
Just
that main banner image.
with like 7 guys with their their skinny skis.
Yeah.
All up.
Yeah.
Okay,
Totally.
no, that was our ski group.
That's
so
awesome.
That was part of the group that would ski with, and that was just one shot from back when we had some of us in one piecers and and the bright colors. They're kind of coming back, which is kind of cool. In fact, my son sees some of the pictures. He's like, "Dad, do you still have those ski pants? I would totally wear them."
That's awesome. It is coming back. Like, I mean, that's the world we live in. Everything comes back around, but this look, this lifestyle is coming back big, I think.
Well, I hope so. It was fun. I mean, it was a fun time where, like I said, I mean, if you look at Warren Miller's latest film, it was retro?
Future retro, man.
Kind of the retro. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think there's a lot to it. And we kind of thought, man, is Gen Z finally ready for, the electric ski poles? I think we went through a period where we had the snowboarding kind of came in, and I switched over to snowboarding for a little while,
Sure.
and came back to ski more. But I think we're in this spot where I think people can appreciate the 80s, 90s, and the ski culture that was around there.
I agree. I think you're right. I think it's coming back in a big way. You see it, like you said, you see it all the time. You see guys and girls on the mountains wearing the same stuff from the 80s. And, I mean, I wasn't, but then I was only 2 feet tall in the 80s, so that's different. But I wasn't on skis yet, But man, it's coming back. The days, those radical days, those Glen Plake days, those days.
Yep.
And I think it's going to be great.
Yeah. What's been kind of cool is I've kind of put this out there on some of the social media channels. I've had Glen Blake, tag me and stuff like that, or
nice.
Follow the electric ski poles. Some of my buddies actually know him, and so these were our idols. Glen Blake, Scott Kennett was chatting with me yesterday on social media. And I was saying, man, Scott, you were like one of our idols back in the ski days, where he's an early mogul skier. Joey Cordeau, same thing.
Yep.
It's been cool to connect with some of these guys over social media and just kind of relive some of the memories.
That's really awesome. That's awesome that you get to connect with these guys, and these guys are still out there doing it. Like, they're 100% still active.
Oh, totally.
Now, you said the music comes from something you had left over from the 80s. Does this group still play? Or is this now just you?
Okay, that's the other cool part. I mean, the lead singer, Mike Rushton, lives up in Oregon.
Okay.
And in fact, he was skiing at a resort up there, and they used to call him Crazy 80s. I think he was maybe he's still sporting his one piecer from back then.
That's awesome.
But he connected with me just the other day as well, and our drummer Spence Dean reached out and said, "Hey, would you guys ever want to get back together and actually re-record some of this in a studio?"
What?
So I think it's being thrown out there.
That's awesome.
Well, we just need to figure out a time to all get together and see if we can piece some things together again.
That would be awesome. I mean, truth be told, I like it as is. I'm not gonna lie about it. Now, for me personally, when it comes to music, when some of these modern bands try to fake that sound, that bugs me. But when it's real, I like it and I dig on it and I jam out. I'm a big rock and roll fan, metal, hard rock, ska, all that stuff. And I feel the lifestyle and I guess culture, the loose definition of the word culture anyway, it's moved more to a hip hop thing, which is fine. But, there's still us rock heads out here who are still doing it.
Right.
So.
One of the thoughts I had, this is before we started talking together as the old band. I had thrown it past a couple folks to see if maybe they'd do like their own version of one of our songs. So maybe cool. Do like Ski Bum in a totally different genre.
Oh, there you go.
And do a cover and get a couple of different bands to do that. Everyone loved the idea.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure, I'd love to see if there's a song that might be a good fit for that and maybe give it a shot. See if there are some cool renditions that people could come up with using the Electric Ski Poles, originals.
That would be awesome. And likely, I mean, it happens all the time in this era where music is just readily available at any second.
Yeah.
You see covers and you hear covers all the time. That would be great. Little hip hop Ski Bum, maybe. I don't know. I like that song. I think that's my favorite so far. Yeah. I think that's my favorite song so far. I've listened to that one a couple times over and over and over again.
Very cool.
I think that's my thing. So you've mentioned that you have kids, obviously grown up since then. Are you still living the ski bum life, or are you just out there hitting slopes for the fun of it when you can?
Yeah, it's tough to live the ski bum life. I mean, I've got a job and stuff and a career, but I try and get out whenever I can. I still, last year I probably skied 30 times or so.
Okay.
So definitely not the ski bum life of when I was younger.
Sure.
But still try and get out there, and I'll tell you, it's harder to ski bumps these days, and I can take a couple runs, and still, I like to tell my son I can still take him in the bumps.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll take a powder day over anything these days.
All right, right on. And you have been seeing some weather out there. At least it looks like it from here. I don't know. I haven't talked to anybody from Utah recently, but it looks like you've gotten it at least recently.
Well, we've got a couple resorts open out here. So Park City opened last week. Alta opened yesterday. My son was up there.
Oh, nice.
We haven't had snow in the last 7 days or so. It snowed a little bit last night, but
okay.
Not anything other than just a trace. So yeah, definitely need some more snow. Hoping that we get a great winter that doesn't get impacted by COVID as well.
True. That's what everybody's worried about. Even our state's worried about it, and every state is worried about it. Every mountain's worried about it.
Yep.
So Alta, you said your son was up there. Is that where you usually go, or do you just kind of pick a direction, hit whatever's open?
Yeah, so I've typically had the Icon Pass, which gives me unlimited skiing at Solitude and time at all of the resorts in the the Cottonwood Canyons.
Yep.
So that's where I spend most of my time, in the Cottonwood Canyons, Alta, Snowbird, Solitude, and Brighton. But I've got a lot of buddies that will ski at Park City, Deer Valley, that area. And then I live up north of Salt Lake, close to Snow Basin, and so
sure.
I've typically had a pass there as well.
Nice.
And it's so close that I can just go up for a few runs, at the beginning or the end of the day, and it makes it easy to get up there and back pretty quick.
That's awesome. It's always great when you have it right in your backyard. Like, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
there is something. Again, I asked you if you still live the life. The no ski patrol. I've seen that bit throughout your website and stuff. Are we still living that or no?
Yeah, a good question. Where that came from
Yep.
and I've actually gotten some flack on that on the social media channels. But where
Oh
that
no.
came from is when we were younger. I mean, this was back when we were growing up, and we didn't have the parks, we didn't have the jumps. We had to create our own.
Yeah.
And the ski patrol would come by, and they would rope them off.
Mm-hmm.
And so we'd build a jump, and then they'd come and rope them off. And then if you take the ropes down or jump over the ropes, then they'd come and they would clip your pass.
Sure.
So we'd have season passes, and if you get two corners clipped off your pass, then they'd take your season pass.
Damn.
And so there were times where we were skiing away from the ski patrol.
Mm-hmm.
we had to. There were a couple times where we had to hurry and ski to the car and hide,
Oh,
so they didn't take our pass. So that's where the whole no ski patrol came from. We've actually got another song that has not been released, but I've got it called "Bogus Ski Patrol."
Nice.
It's a cool tune. It was one of the fan favorites back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll have to release that one here in the future.
That's awesome. Now, that really grabbed my eye when I saw that. I was like, oh, wow, in this day and age, you might take some flack for that. Not disrespecting ski patrollers, obviously. We all know them. We all love them. I've had friends who are ski patrol over the years,
Oh, yeah.
tons.
As do I. Oh, yeah.
But the outlaw, that outlaw feel, that outlaw vibe, is not really a thing anymore. It was a thing then. Like now you just don't see it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally agree. I think it is a different era. And like I said, I think with the parks and all that, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
we weren't allowed to do backflips and all that. Now, I mean, you go to these parks and all the kids are throwing inverts and
Oh yeah.
and that. So it's a totally different world
Mm-hmm.
these days.
It really is. And I mean, I don't know which is better. I wouldn't even try to guess at which is better. I just say it's different,
Yeah.
But those old days, man, you see some of those old films, like you were saying with Blake. You go back. Who else was around back then? The Delorier brothers.
Oh, yeah.
They were coming
Scott
into the
Schmidt
'90s, but Schmidt.
Scott Kennett, a bunch of the mogul skiers from back in the day.
Yeah.
Nelson Carmichael and just had a great group. Mike, and Mike Rushton and I, we skied on the Pro Mogul Tour for a little bit and got to know some of the guys there. In fact, it was through mogul skiing how we met our drummer.
Okay.
So it was kind of a cool connection there.
It really feels to me, and I've always thought this, but I was never sure that it was the mogul guys who pushed the sport into what would become the freestyle and probably maybe even into the free ride scenes that we see now.
Well, totally.
Yeah.
Okay. So early days on the in the Pro Mogul Tour, we used to ski with Shane McConkey, who was on the tour.
Right on.
And this was before Shane got into the big mountain. In fact, it was while he was doing the big mountain. He was just starting to go off and do the big mountain stuff, and the free riding stuff was just in its infancy in those days. So, so it was kind of cool to be skiing the bumps with Shane McConkey, and then later on start to see him in all these films, hucking these huge airs off these enormous cliffs.
Yeah, man, he was the pioneer.
Yeah.
Nobody else can take credit for that.
And he was on the Pro Mogul Tour, living the life.
Yeah, one of the fun facts from here in Vermont, unless I'm wrong, and because I can biff all the time, but he skied up here at Burke, man, racing, and it's like, there you go.
Very cool.
Yeah,
very cool. I know he spent a lot of time at Squaw and all those guys, and But he spent a fair share of his time in Utah as well. I know,
Yeah.
in Colorado.
Yeah. Eventually, he was just worldwide. That guy had seen it all
Oh
and
yeah,
done most of it. So good for him and
yep,
rest in peace, brother. But man, nobody could ever live up to that. Absolutely not.
yep.
But that's awesome. That's awesome that you were there. It's awesome that you saw it, you lived it. And that's the best part. Like for someone like me in my generation, I can say I've seen the films. I may have met one or two of these guys in passing. Well, Mosley came around at the like kind of at the end, the
Oh yeah,
transition into the new days.
yep.
And I've talked to him for like a second. I met him once. That was it.
Very cool.
I didn't actually get to say, dude, what was it like to do some of that stuff that you probably couldn't get away with now? Not just skiing. Like,
Oh
God,
yeah.
I think I saw a clip. Was it him, McConkey, and Davenport? One of them doing base jumps in like a city somewhere and jumping into the car and running.
Oh,
Was it those three? It might have been. I
yeah,
can't
that
remember.
doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, and
You
it's
know,
like,
and again, Johnny was one of those renegades
yeah.
back in the day. I mean, when you couldn't go upside down in the mogul competitions,
Mm-hmm.
that's where he came up with the dinner roll.
Yep.
It wasn't technically upside down, so he tried to get away with it, and some people loved it, and then some judges would like disqualify him.
Yep.
But again, it's kind of back to that pushing the limits mentality and kind of that renegade style. So I think Johnny's still kind of a renegade. He's a cool guy. Have not met him,
Mm-hmm.
but I think Johnny would dig the electric ski poles.
Oh, he
Love
absolutely
to get
would.
him a shirt or something.
Dude, he would absolutely love it. He'd rock it. He'd ride that with his car. Why windows open, loud. That's what I'm gonna do. Like that's what I'm gonna do. So that's awesome,
Oh,
man.
awesome.
You lived it. You saw it. The music reflects it. It feels right out of where it should be. And I think this is a perfect time to release the album because, like you said, it's coming back around. And
Yeah.
this is where it started. Like I said, the free ride and freestyle scene that we started, that's where it started. And this music, I think, pushes that vibe. Would you agree?
I love it. Yeah, yeah, totally agree. I mean, it feels like it is the right time. I think it was validated with my son and a bunch of his buddies. We're all pushing. It's like, yeah, we totally want to listen to this as we're cruising up the canyon and getting stoked for skiing. So hopefully we can share this with a new generation.
I hope so. I hope it goes big. Like I said, I enjoy it. I'm telling my friends about it. Obviously, I'm pushing it on SkiRx Media. Not the biggest snow sports media outlet in the world, but a few people see it. So I hope it gets
This is
you a few
awesome.
fans, man. I hope it gets you something. So if you had to
Well,
pick,
thanks.
if you had to pick a song as your favorite out of the five, which one would it be?
Oh man, I'd probably be with you on Ski Bum. I love the tune and the message and all that.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
But it's been interesting to see on iTunes and Spotify
Mm-hmm.
the most played tune is Agitation.
Nice.
Um,
I like that one too.
where it starts out, dude, look, it's snowing outside.
Mm-hmm.
2 hours of homework, what a drag. And it goes into this ski life of, what would be Gen Z right now.
Yep. Totally would. Well, that's awesome, man. I think that's what we're gonna close the program out with. Once I finish up all the production and editing, we're gonna go out with that song, Agitation. I think, man.
Awesome.
I think that'll be
Awesome.
good. And actually, when I cut the intro, we're gonna start with Ski Bum. That's gonna be awesome. We'll go from one to the other, and it'll be amazing. I think.
Awesome.
That-
Love it.
this
Love
was-
it. And then the other one you got to listen to is, you'll appreciate it. I think kids will still appreciate it, but getting to the line at the very opening chair,
Mhm.
and then skiing till the last chair.
Mhm.
And we've got that song called "One More Run." If you listen to the lyrics, they're just classic.
Nice.
So a little Rolling Stones, thrown in there.
Sure.
But anyways, it's a good one.
Awesome. Well, that's great, man. Like I said, I like it. I think everybody's going to enjoy it. I think most people should enjoy it, especially, like I said, people who either who are into snow sports, who remember or if not remember, live for that vibe, and then, music, people who are just into music who don't know anything about skiing or riding, are just gonna be like, wow, feels like old
Right.
school punk and old school rock, and it's gonna be great. I think it's great. I like it. I enjoyed it. I came across it accidentally, and was like, what's
Yeah.
this? And I was like, oh, okay, I'm in, flat out. So
That's
there you go.
awesome.
All
Well,
right.
Tim, I'm so glad we connected. I mean, if nothing else, I'm making some new friends,
Yeah.
connecting with some old ones, and just sharing the love of skiing. So it's been really cool.
Yeah, man. And that's what I try to do. I just try to push the love, push the vibe, and make sure people know there's a history. Like, it's not just what it is today. There was a whole world coming up. And, that era of the, 70s coming through the 80s into the 90s was completely different than us and completely different from the era before it.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know, so,
you're right.
so
You're
it's going to
right.
be great. I love it. I'll listen to it again. I'm going to listen to it today, I'm sure. And like I said, we're going to listen to it as we go out. And I think we'll go out. Thank you, Mr. Jeff. I appreciate you coming on the program and talking to us. And not just telling us about the album, but telling us about, throwing out some stuff from the era. I love it.
Oh, well, thanks, Tim. This has been fun. It's loving it, and I really appreciate your support. And
Yeah, man.
it's great to have a new friend.
Absolutely, dude. And if maybe not this year because traveling's not easy, but one of these days I'll be out in Utah and I'll look you up, man.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, for
Excellent.
sure, man. I would love that.
Excellent. Thank you very much, sir. And we'll check back in with you eventually to see how the album's selling.
That sounds great.
All
Love
right.
to, and then maybe we'll release a couple more songs here in the coming months or years.
I like it. Nice and teased. I like that.
Awesome. Thanks again, Tim. Great to be on your show.
Thank you, my friend. We'll talk to you again soon, man.
Okay, sounds good.
All
Thanks
right.
again.
Later.
Bye.
Bye. And there you go, everybody. That was Jeff Erickson from the Electric Ski Poles, which you could see right over here in the corner over my right shoulder. Well, it's actually over my right shoulder. I know the camera always throws me off the backwards, but that was Jeff. Really cool guy. Sounds like he's got a lot of great stories to tell back from like that bygone era that we were talking about, the 80s, the rock and radical 80s. So before we get into his, like I said, we're going to play a track from the album in its entirety here at the end. But before we get into that, let's make sure that you know where to find his stuff. We didn't actually get into that. So you can go to the Electric Ski Poles website, linked in the description, electricskipoles.com, linked in the description, also on Instagram, also linked in the description. Go down to the description, check it out. That way you can find it. Or you can go to iTunes and search the Electric Ski Poles. You can go to Spotify, search out the Electric Ski Poles. I went to iTunes. I bought the album. $5, man, not bad. And I listened to it and I liked it, and I'm going to listen to it again, and I dig it. And for all the reasons I went through in the episode. Right. So check out the Electric Ski Poles. Jeff, again, thank you. That was really awesome. And, it was a great episode. I liked it already. I haven't even edited it yet, and I like it already, but by the time I've edited it and posted it, it'll be great. So check out, Jeff's band, the Electric Ski Poles, if you want some, real skiing and riding music from out of a bygone era, the era of the 80s with the onesies and the colors. Look at the photo, dude. Look at the photo. Where's the photo? Right here's the photo. Look at it. That's the era. That's the vibe, and we all dig on that. And like I said, I think it's coming back around anyway. So check them out, and be sure to also check out Ski Rex Media, obviously at skirexmedia.com, where you can find links and everything. Plus, you go down in the description, you can find links to skirexmedia.com, the email link, skirexmedia4ever@gmail. That's skirex, the number 4, ever@gmail.com. Plus, all the social media links, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, might be getting another one up there. Who knows? And then all the audio links. If you're watching the video version, you can go get all the audio links. Obviously, not obviously. If you look at the links, it becomes obvious. Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Buzzsprout, and now Pandora as well. You go on Pandora, you look up Ski Rex Media, and now you can see or listen to the Ski Rex Media podcast, as well as other places that I don't even have linked yet. I have to get on that. So go in the description. You don't have to remember any of it. And like I always say, if you're listening to the audio version, you're driving a car, don't look at it. Don't look at the description right now. Wait till you get to work, to home, to a place to stop. Look, get links to me, link to the electric ski poles, which is actually on that side. I'll get it for the video people. For the audio people, I was just trying to point at the picture I have in the corner for the for the video version, and I'm just pointing all over the place. Check out the electric ski poles. Check out Ski Rex Media. It's an entirety, written content, plus everything else that's on the YouTube channel, IGTV, everything. All the links are in the description. You'll find it. Plus, I post all over the place. You'll find it. Check us all out. Enjoy the winter. It's coming. Hopefully, we'll all be back on skis or snowboards sooner rather than later with everything opening here in the East, all the stuff that's opening out in the West. And if you can get your reservations, and remember, check those travel restrictions, check mask guidelines, do everything the mountains need you to do so we can all have a great season, all right? Thank you, and thank you for letting me get through that really long, almost 5-minute closing. Here's Agitation from the Electric Ski Poles. Enjoy the song. Enjoy it all. And I will see you on the next week, man. Later.
Dude, look, it's snowing outside. 2 hours of homework, what a drag.